feel like this is the most important video that I'm ever gonna make, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I hope it reaches who it needs to. I think one of the most heartbreaking comments I see on any of my videos is when somebody says that they either once were a Christian and walked away because of church, or that they like want religion and Jesus, but that when they come in contact with Christians, they just get so turned off that they can't do it. And that's who this video is for. I want to speak to you because I was you. I grew up in the church, Awana, all the things, and then classic case of going off to college and going off the deep end. I went to a Christian liberal arts college and just lost myself, lost my way. Drugs, alcohol, partying, clubbing, all the things. I was very lost. And you would think, being at a Christian institution, like what better place for people to come alongside me and say, hey, like you seem like you need a friend. And that didn't happen. I was met with a lot of judgment, a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of rumors, a lot of rumors. I kind of feel like I was on a path, and there were the Christians in front of me who were just friends with Christian people and doing their own Christian thing and not really paying attention to anything else. And then there were the Christians behind me that were just like pointing, mocking, judging, talking, but nobody actually came alongside me and realized that I needed Jesus. It felt like instead of all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, it was just these are the people that are sinning and falling short of the glory. And not only are they falling short of the glory, but they're falling short of being good enough to be a part of our community. And I feel like that's what a lot of people feel. They feel like when they go and they are around other Christians, if they don't have their whole life together and packaged in a way that the religious feel they should, then they are not accepted, they are judged, need to be fixed, like all these things. And that's probably how you feel. If you're still watching this, and during that time in my life, I was like, you know what? I don't want anything to do with Christianity. I believe in God, but I am feeling so heavy, my heart's beating, from judgment and lack of love that I don't want anything to do with what that is. Like, God, I still believe in you, but I don't want to be a Christian anymore because it's gross. And it's, I feel like, not a representation of you truly. So I hit rock bottom. For the first 2 years, I had to actually walk away from my friendships because I was so overwhelmed by the rumors. And then I started a relationship with somebody who, it was just a toxic relationship. We were just two broken people trying to make something work, and it just was heartbreaking for both of us. So I flew out of the country. I did a semester in Australia, and I found Jesus on my own. For the first time in my life, I was like, okay, this can't be it. Let me find out who Jesus is myself. And so I did. I spent that whole 4 months just chasing who he was, reading the red letters in the Bible, and like truly understanding who Jesus was and is. And it was taking me figuring out who Jesus is to realize what Christianity isn't. And then I was like, okay, I need to reclaim the title of Christian because I want people to see Jesus in me, the real Jesus. And even if, you know, there's going to be a lot of people that see I'm a Christian and label me a certain way, I hope that I can be different enough for them to say, there's something different here. What is it? I want it. And so that's what I've done. I'm still chasing Jesus. I still claim to be a Christian, but I so resonate with people who have felt so ostracized and so turned off by it. I have been in your shoes. If this is you, I just implore you to figure out who Jesus is on your own, because I am telling you, it is not what you've tasted and seen from a human, broken human portrayal of him. Obviously, a place you could go would be Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in the Bible, the whole New Testament. But if that's intimidating for you, which is understandable, there are 2 books that I recommend. Jesus Is by Judah Smith and Beautiful Outlaw by John Eldredge. I haven't read these in a while, but I feel like I'm going to refresh with everything going on. I want to know who Jesus is and who he stood for. Not only who he stood for, but what he stood for. If this is you and you feel how I felt, I just encourage you, there's nothing more important than figuring out who he actually was, who he actually is. And I just really hope that this video reaches somebody who needed to see this, and I really hope you know that you are so loved. as is. You are loved as is. There's a verse in the Bible that says that when we were still sinners, he died for us. When we were still sinners. You don't need to clean up your act. He just wants to be your friend. So, anyways, that's my testimony. And I just hope that it reaches who it needs to.